Wholeness, welcome. This is Josh of Integrating Presence. And today I'm joined by Aisha Makara. Aisha, what's happening? What's going on?
Hello everyone. Thank you, Josh, for having me in your podcast. I'm here in sunny
Oh,
Lisbon, having a great time, enjoying my life, doing art, writing my books.
cool. So the standard question I open with is who is Aisha and what kind of work does she do? You mentioned a little bit there. So jump right into it.
I'm Aisha Makara, artist, entrepreneur, and author. I'm the first artist in the world who sent my art to the space. It was a SpaceX. It's engraved in the golden plates and it's flying somewhere in the space right now. I'm also published my book called like Joyful Living Guidebook, and I travel all the time. Now I'm settled a little bit down here in Portugal, Lisbon. It's an amazing country to live and enjoy life. Yeah, I've been traveling like m- many years. I live in the United States for like a while, for almost 5 years of my life. I had a great time. I've been, living in a van, traveling from the festival to festival, and like I don't know, my life is a dream. I'm living my dream life, and I'm enjoying each day of my life. That's what matters. And I feel like life is an action, and we can find joy in absolutely anything we do. Yeah, my philosophy of life it's joyful living. Namaste. So we get to look at life as a
Well,
joy and
it's
be there. You know.
yeah, it's connection's a little bit off. Speaking of traveling, I'm doing that too, and I'm joining from a park today because I was had an earlier interview inside. I'm just ready to get outside, so but hopefully that won't even show up on this. But yeah, I'm originally from the States too, and I'm traveling now. My fiance is Danish, and so as a tourist, I have to leave Schengen every 3 months for 3 months. So here I'm in the UK now for a little bit longer before I can go back to her. And yeah, but I can really sense this joy and how important this is to you, and kind of how bright and uplifting this joy feels, and how important this is for, I think, all of us. It's a fundamental thing of life. So what got you interested in art, and then just the notion of joy of all things that you could choose and dream up in this life? How did you land on these things?
Well, I was doing art most all my life. I haven't considered myself like artist in the beginning. And one day, I'm an orphan from Siberia. I've been born in Mongolia. My mother abandoned me when I was less than 2 years, and so I grew up kind of on very, I would say, brutal military slash a little bit like harsh environment, very cold. So nobody like motivates you there or inspires you. It's all about like punishment, and like if you haven't done right thing that they tell you to do, you kind of like be punished. So you don't have a choice as a child. So you get to kind of like um, be good, whatever good it is for them, for the adults. So when I grew up, I just decided to travel around the world, and of course I felt like many people said to me around me, "Oh, it's impossible," like look at you, like where you from and where you are. You don't have like anything to make it happen. And that time of my life, I understood that if I'm moving to the capital, one day I was hitchhiking, and I started to hitchhike kind of like very early. I was kind of like being curious about that, of traveling. I haven't traveled like outside of Russia or Central Asia. I was just traveling like inside, and it's many beautiful places there as well. And so one day I felt like if I move to the capital, actually I can have opportunity. It's going to be open more opportunities for me, with opportunities probably travel around the world. And so I moved to Moscow. Um, and after I moved to Norway and opened like this exchange student program, opened me like doors to the whole world. So it's all about making these decisions and take a risk. Even so, you don't know what you don't know. I believe like when we're taking risk and believe in ourselves, believing in our capability that we can do it, because just continue to show up for ourselves, continue to wake up in the morning and believing that yes, I'm doing it, yes, I'm living it. And yes, life is like up and downs as anything else. Like in our life we have great expectations and great disappointments. So when I moved to Norway, I continued my engineering degree. So I finished there. I started to work as engineer, and after continued to travel. I've been too busy, doing too many things, living my life. And art was also on the side. I was like every time I was journaling all my life, like since I'm a kid, I'm journaling like all my life, and it's kind of like natural, like a way for me to connect with myself. And one day I've been so like disappointed because I was in my 20s and I was running after this million as anyone else in my 20s, do like when I decided to be an entrepreneur. And instead to do like startup, I decided to build a business. So I started to work in real estate. I moved to Portugal, and I saw the Portugal as opportunity to do like a lot of real estate, develop like Airbnbs, and like it was amazing, like a place to do so many amazing things. I saw so many opportunities here. So I started to work in luxury real estate, and after like I started to do property management, and I started to calculate my life, like not my life, year by year, how much I'm making by year revenue. And I realized that if I will continue to like work, I can make my million in 5 years, 5 to 7 years, if I will continue to grow as a business. So you're growing, and like, and also learn from that time, businesses, you're building a relationship, you get to be very like strategic every time. With startup, it's a little bit different. I haven't run a startup yet. I think I still have opportunity for that as well. But I just feeling like every steps in our life, we get to understand why we're doing it. What's our purpose? What's our like? What's moving us to do that? So I burn out after 3 years or something. I realized that I doing something is not I'm passionate about. I was just doing for this number of making million. And many people said to me, I'll continue move. But I was so burned out. I was so like disappointed of many things, the way it works, the way people works, the way I get to be, like always putting this mask on my face, and I didn't like it. I couldn't express myself freely. And I like to express myself very freely. I like to be me, like it's very important for me to be me all my life. Since I'm a child, I have this rebellious in me, so I like to be me. I'm really like important my truth. Express my truth. So I realized that as an engineer or as a entrepreneur, business owner, I didn't have that opportunity. I didn't have that freedom to truly express myself, because people would, putting your like a crazy, or like looking at you as like, holding the distance. So I started to do art, and I started to explore more inside of art. So I started to do more art just for myself in the beginning. And it was easy. Many people was just buying my art, like, and asking are you selling your art? So I started to sell my art. Eventually, because of this burnout that I had, again, every time I have that burnout, I go to travel. And I travel, I travel. And this time I also went to travel, and I discovered Miami. I mean, I've been Miami many times, but I never like thinking to move to Miami full time. And that time I was like, oh, Miami, Arbazo. I want to be like artist in Arbazo. And everyone was like, you don't have any career. You don't have any experience. And I said, I have me. It's enough. I will figuring out. I get to just, be there. And so I became a full-time artist. I just threw myself to the experience. And yes, I started to interview hundreds of the artists, understand what it is to be an artist. And I realized that artist, I can express myself as freely as I want. I can be as crazy as I want. I can say absolutely anything I want, and people will just frame me I'm crazy artist or like whatever. She's just an artist. So I love it. I love it, and I enjoy it. At some point of my life, I become a hippie, very hippie, like, and I started to kind of live in my van, traveling from festival to festival. I completely disconnected myself, living in my own kind of like world of like, and I've been super happy in my world. Yes, I always been surrounded by people. I didn't feel loneliness, in that moment of my life. I felt like it was just me, super happy, super joyful. And, eventually I applied for this project to send my art to the space because in 2020, end of the 2020, when COVID hit, and it was like a COVID year, I um, I didn't know what to do. So I work as an au pair, and I connect with the kids. And I kind of like came with this idea of sending my art to the space. So I sent my art to Elon Musk, to Jeff Bezos, and to Richard Branson. And I asked Elon Musk to send my art to the space. I asked Richard Branson to paint his rocket with my art. And I asked Jeff Bezos to send me to the space. So I sent my artwork to their offices, and they receive it actually with a letter. What I'm asking them, like a dreams. And year after that, 2 years after that, SpaceX had this project with collaboration with Singaporean company, Cosmisis, I think, and they was looking for the artist who wants to send their art to the space. And like many different things happened in my life in that moment of my life. My van was broken in, like all my life was completely destroyed. Like my identity was taken from me, my all the money that I made, all my everything, just because I'm expressing myself, my truth, who I am, the way I am. And I realize and people don't like it, so they can do not good things to you because of your truth and because what you're speaking up. So yeah, I ended up with nothing for like a while. I couldn't recover. It took me some time to recover from the experience, and I'm very happy that I was end up alive. I'm still alive. Nothing happened like to me. Um, and this opportunity arrived. And I was in a bit of nowhere. I was living in a community of hippies, and we traveled from the festival. I get to work. I get to like do a lot of things. So I first time in my life, after this experience, I get to ask for support and be vulnerable, access vulnerability to the point of my life where I always have money. I always can manage myself. I always can, be so independent and always can be like so in a good shape. And here I am. My identity is, being taken. All the money was taken. My van was taken. I was just completely naked. Let's say like this with just whatever I had. Like I get to go and ask for support and get over my ego. Let's say like this. And it was so not easy to accept the support, to be vulnerable, to go through that experience. And when this opportunity arrived, I get to take it, because it's connected to my dream. And I was feeling like that's a part of my dream. That's what I want to, achieve in my life. It's one of the achievements I want to have. And so I applied for the project. I've been selected. And eventually they selected two of my artworks and they sent to the space. And so, of course, it was like a whole process of not having internet, not having connection, not having phones, because I get to access every time my phone from someone asking, permission to like, is it okay? I can ask like get to my email. Is it okay? I can go to my Instagram. Like every time it was like a whole process because it's that level of because I didn't have even like nowhere to go, so it's like kind of in a completely different country, far away from everything what you know, and get to kind of like figuring out your shit in the moment. Um, so I believe like anything, any opportunity or any challenge we meet in our life, it's blessings. So absolutely in anything that I see and I experience in my life, it's blessing. So I inviting people to look at each experience that they have through life as a blessings, because we are here one time in a life. I mean, our life, we don't know when we're not here anymore. The point is, God wants us, or source, whatever you imagine, whatever it works for you, wants you to be happy, wants you to be joyful, wants you to access the feeling of bliss, of absolutely anything that's happening, and be grateful for the experience. Gratitude is a great feeling of life to
Hey, we're back,
feel.
I think, here.
Really feel gratitude that we
Aisha,
are
can you hear
here
me? Oh no, you're
sharing
still
this amazing experience with
arriving here.
humanity, by being here, bringing the value while we're here in the planet Earth. That's what matters. And I practice gratitude since I'm 15, and I'm feeling like, for me, it's just the experience of my life. And gratitude take me to so many amazing places, and being grateful for absolutely everything that I have in my life, who I am and who I become and who I'm going to be, is just magical. Life is really magical, a gift. And I'm really grateful that I'm living it in this lifetime, in this having this life experience now. So I'm so happy and blessed, to live my dream, creating art. Actually, I had just my solo art exhibition here in Lisbon. It was great success. It was so awesome and great. I was so happy and proud of myself. Yeah, it's more things to come. It's just more blessings. I'm just trusting to the process of life, and just receive, and with a smile and gratitude, everything, whatever is coming next, I get to receive with a smile and gratitude and joy, of course.
Hey, sorry about that, everyone. It was my stupidity of going to a park and thinking that I have enough bandwidth there. I tested it earlier, but then it dropped me off the 5G or whatever and slowed me down. But anyway, you were talking about how everything is a blessing. In this spiritual teaching I heard is kind of the golden question. What if the worst things that ever happened to me were the greatest opportunity I've ever been given? And so yeah, pick up where you left off about everything being a blessing.
So in I believe in life, everything is a blessing. So a gratitude, it's a very important part of the life. I practice gratitude since I'm 15 or like 14. I had this very, like, I would say, pivot moment of my life. I was not in a good company because I was orphan. I was like, as a teenager, I want to enter my teen years. I had this very strong feeling of belonging, and as a kid, I didn't have like this, like a strong feeling of connection, or with other people. And here I am, want to be like, um belong to some group, or like some kind of like, with some type of like a people. I don't know, I just like, that's what I remember. And I'm like, I want to be with one of the group, and the kids not being nice to me. um they've been like, from my school, they've been not nice to me. They, every time, they kind of been mean and calling me names, and it's just every time it's kind of like I feel a little bit left over. um and I didn't like it. I didn't like that feeling. Even so, I've been leader of the class, I've been very good at school, but in the same time, they've been like, this, like, I don't know what to put, but you understand, like, they've been not nice to me, so I didn't feel I want to be with them. So I end up with street kids. Like, I started to hang out with the street kids, and I like it because they're always kind of like just on action. They're always kind of like want to just have fun and explore, and go on adventure, and like kind of like dangerous adventure. So I didn't understand that moment of my life, that what we're doing was not good, or it's not acceptable by society, or like different things that as a kid you don't understand so much the consequence of, or the danger of it. And so one of them, you know some months later, my friend started to die on a different accidents, like the people I started to hang out with, let's say like this. And I was like 15, about 15, 15, 14 to 15, and I was feeling like, oh my gosh, would I survive until I'm 18? Would be still alive? I started to ask myself these questions because I want to travel around the world. I want to do all this amazing stuff in my mind. I was always like, when I dream, I want to go around the world. When I was since I was 10 or like 9, um, so I said to myself, I got to start change something. It's not good for me. It's not good to like what I'm doing. I didn't understand the why I came to this. It just scared me. The death scared me. So I got to face the death of my friends at time, and that was just 16. Like 17, and even not very young. And so I pick up myself together. I started to go to the school because I stopped to go to the school. I just kind of been rebelling. I just like been very mean to the teachers, to everyone. I become like very like angry, mean person. And that after this experience, I started to go to school back. I kind of like go back. The thing is, what happened was the teachers and all of that. After that, they had this like experience of me as a teenager. So they become very like, every time they had opportunity, they tried to push me down, because I started to express my dreams. I said, I want to finish the school. I want to go to the university. I want to, go travel around the world. I want to like do this. I want to like, I expressed to the teachers. And the funny thing is, I didn't get any support at all. Like, I was finishing, they said to me, oh, you get to do this, you get to do this region exams, when you get to do like this country exams. So I was doing all these exams, pushing and doing my best, like investing my time towards to get where I want to be, to go to the university that I want to go, be a journalist, because I was thinking like of being a journalist, I can travel around the world, be like this was my imaginary that time. And what happened is I didn't get to the journalist school because my language skill teacher, she put very like low score. The other teacher that also put very low score, and instead, and I started to fight with them. I said like, I did my best, by the region exams. You got to put me like better score, but I couldn't do anything. You know, it's I just been more frustrated and kind of more like angry at them. And I remember the last day at school when we like have this like a big celebration. I was so mad. So I had like very mean, like a last conversation with my teachers. I said, you know what? I'm going to live my dreams, and and I'm just going to do it. And I don't care what you guys decided over me. I decided over myself. So I just, I kind of like went to the Google and asked who we need right now, and we need engineers. So I, applied for the engineering, and I started to study engineering. Even so, I didn't want to. That was kind of like what kind of was easy to access because I want to go to the university. I want to like, you know, um, experience things that I was believing that is good for me. um, and since then I kind of like understood that engineering actually helped me to shape my brain, or like shape my way of thinking, because I have my thinking way more like not abstract, way more structure, so it's like every time when you're taking the education, I realize that as a student, when you're very young, it helps you to shape more your reality, and learn more things about yourself, learning how you are, adding, let's say, like adding the value in the community by being yourself, by being authentic yourself. And all my life I've been authentic, I always expressing myself, I always expressing my truth. I don't like to use masks. It's kind of like making me like not me. I started to feel like it's boring, or why I'm doing it. I'm getting very like sad and depressed and kind of like if I want to get something from someone, like it's kind of like like I don't like this way of manipulating or playing the games, and I just like to. I believe that universe or source wants us to live the best life, the best, in this lifetime. And I just believe in that. I believe in myself that I have capability of living that best life. Right now, maybe I'm not in that like so much in that energy flow of creating more things that I'm creating. And I still create so amazing things. Like my wall is was my art right now. I'm creating more like art every day. So for me, what I learned so much about life, life has up and downs, and it's up to us to decide the way we want to face it, the way we want to react or act towards that. My choice as a human being, I choose it to look at this as with a smile and gratitude and joy because it's my choice, it's my life. If I started to look at everything as a from the victim or from the scarcity mindset, I will not achieve, I will not move on to the next steps of my life. I will be always in the same loop of victimizing myself. Victimize, oh, I don't have mother, I don't have father, I don't have rich background, or I didn't go to this school, I didn't do that. Like, focusing what I don't have, I like, I get to focus what I have. And I have me in the first place and my dreams that I'm living. So I believe like when we choose to understand that we are the center of our life, that we are here to create our life the way we want, and at the same time, understand that we are creators, and at the same time go with the flow. Like be more aware when the flow is, taking you somewhere. Be more like open and not judging yourself, because what we started to do, we control, we judge, we're like getting scary. No, continue to face it with a gratitude and smile and joy and invite more magic. I'm right now started to invite more magic because my life is a fairy tale, adventure, and comedy. So like also understand how you want to live your life. What's your life about? So when I learned that when I was 15, I said to myself, my life is a fairy tale adventure and comedy. So I remember in my Facebook, like many years ago, it was like this, like my life is a fairy tale adventure and comedy. That's it. I didn't know, I didn't realize, but like now when I'm living it, going from the festival to festival, my like meeting all these elves, I call them, and fairies, like we are creators. We are powerful creators. And we can create absolutely any reality we want. I send my art to the space, and I will achieve so many more things in my lifetime. I believe that I'm here going to live up probably until like 100 years or more with all tools that we have right now, with probability that, how long we can live right now. So I believe like I can create and add so much value in the local community, in the global community, and just continue to be me. Because world and universe, or planet Earth, needs me the way I am. Not getting out of all these programs, all these like boxes, all the society created for us to control us. We can be the creators. We can do absolutely anything we want. We can decide right now where we want to live, why we want to live in this country or that country, why we want to, do things we want to do. Nobody hold me to live in Portugal. I can go move in Indonesia. I can move to back to America. I can go to Mexico, wherever I want. Like, because with this lifetime we're living right now, with these opportunities that we have, it's such a magic. People don't even realize that how magical it is to be here
Yeah,
in this lifetime. And I do. I
you
will
know,
tell you this. It doesn't.
I say you're living this. You're living proof of this, and I mean, I'm not really speaking to the people who don't think it's possible, because you're it really is in my experience too. You become what you say you are, right? You can say I'm this and this and this, and then you just become it. It is so wild. I think it's just a matter of how much time and energy and effort you want to put into it, and with that said, and with that really possible, and you exemplifying this, and I know I can validate that in my own experience too. Then the next question becomes, well, what is the greatest thing that we can do, especially in the long term, for our welfare and happiness and that of others? And I think this notion of expression and creation is so wonderful and beautiful that you're doing all this. It's just there's so much power in art, you know what I mean? And the way that emotions can be put into art and get people's attention and bring messages and just a creation, just to create, just to say, because I can. I'm doing it because I can. There's a lot to be said about that too. Now, when you talked, I missed though what you said when everything was taken away. Could you, it was a bad connection. I don't want to dwell on that, but I think that was a pivotal turning point in your life. Could you just refresh my memory again what happened there, or if you're comfortable to say that? And the other thing I was fascinated is your origin. Like, we don't hear in the West hear too much about Mongolia. It is this kind of very insular country, I think. And I've met one guy that I took to a Buddhist temple in St. Louis that was from Mongolia, and I took it to a Vietnamese temple, and I barely said a couple words to him though. So if you want to say anything about that and how that might have informed your upbringing. I know you talked about being an orphan, which wow, you have to be on your own 2 feet right from the get-go, right? And some people, they have to be abandoned by a lot of people they love to learn how to stand on their own 2 feet. But right out the gate,
Yeah.
you're like a self-sufficient woman. And then talk about the strengths of that, because my fiance is kind of a feminist, and some of the good things of it, and some of the things I'm like, okay, honey, but so yeah, talk about like true female empowerment too, because yeah, you're a living expression of that.
Well, I was living as a hippie, as I was mentioning here before, like in Florida, and I was going from the festival to festival. I was really hippie. Many of my friends who knows me from the business world or from engineering, from Norway or from Portugal, they were very surprised. They were like, "Oh my gosh, Aisha, you're going like completely hippie. How? What happened with you? Why?" And I said, "Why I get to like care? I mean, I'm living in a van. I'm very happy. I've already managed like how much I'm paying my bills is every month. If I want to work extra hours or extra time, I go to the beach or go to the some places where I just sell the fruits or like get some fruits in the homestead in the far in the farms, and I just sell it in Miami, and or I can just do my art. I do the prints and I sell each my artwork for $30 to $50. So I'm making like I can make enough. Well, like in the one day, I can easily make like $200 to $500 if I want to. But like it depends how much money or how much time I want to put in that, and knowing, of course, be resourceful to understand how you want to navigate yourself in the society and the community and the way you want to interact with the community. So like for me, it was kind of like perfect setup because that time I was just eating coconuts all the time and fruits, and I was just like super skinny, super happy, like living in my own kind of in my own world. I didn't want to connect so much with people. Even so, I've been always surrounded by communities, by other hippies, and by living all the time. I was doing a lot of yoga that time, and breathing exercise, ice bathing, swimming in the ocean, having amazing sunset and sunrises. So like doing a lot of art. So for me, I just knew if I'm making like if I work right now all week, I can make enough money for the whole next 3 months, or maybe like 6 months. So like I knew that how much time I get to work and just go and relax and go to the national park or stay there for like a 2 weeks and just relax and just do whatever I want to do, like do art and just play and connect with other people. So for me, I had like a perfect setup. And one day, things has changed. Like God, I say, like a source has a different plan for me. And so It was not too long. It was like about 6 months I was living like that. Anyway, this when these things happened, everything was taken from me. My identity was taken from me. All the money, everything was taken from me. So like I was sitting with nothing in my dress or whatever I had on me at that moment, with no phones, with no laptops, with no money, with nothing. And I was like, oh my gosh. And like the same day, next day, I got to go to the like a festival to do like a ceremony on the main stage. It was also part of this like this. I had like this food divine ceremony that I was doing in the festivals, and I couldn't do that. I couldn't show up for myself. I was so destroyed, smashed, whatever you call it. Next day, I just show up to the community. I just express what happened, and they said to me, "You still can do it. Like, come on, just let it go, and um, and make it happen." I believe if I didn't have that moment, like relationship, I was with a guy that time, and he kind of very, very put me down in that moment as well. He didn't support me when these things happened, and he was like very mean to me, and so I couldn't show up for myself in that moment, next day and do this food ceremony, and so like I kind of like isolated myself more. I broke up, of course, with that guy, and like I said to him, I cannot like deal with this anymore because you make me more and more miserable, and I don't want to be miserable. I want the opposite. I want to be happy. That's joyful. That's who I am. And you're the opposite, making more like putting me more down and down. And I'm like, where down I get to go, and he's continuously like pushing me down, telling me it's my fault that's happened because of my truth I'm speaking every time to the people that being almost killed of like by other people because of the things that I'm talking about, or like my truth, or my about the things I'm thinking. It's not safe, sometimes to express yourself to that level of what you think about. So it's true. I learned sometimes we cannot like express completely the truth that we have, and it can be punished because of the people getting scared of the words that you're expressing, and so I realized that not not everything about pink elephants. So I get to be more careful what I'm speaking, like for real, because it can cost me life. And I actually appreciate to be here. So I said to myself, I get to be more careful, more like kind of like wiser what I'm speaking, the way I'm speaking it, the way I'm expressing it, not too harsh or direct. I get to kind of find more like polite way, or more like gentle way to like communicate the truth I have, or my truth that I have. So for me, I listened to him at the same time. At the same time, I was like, I don't want to be with this person because I feel more like this person bring me more misery in my life and more like victimizing me. And I don't want to be a victim. I'm a winner. I'm here to win. I'm here to continue to shine my star, to continue to be. And when I remember I want to go to this do actually the ceremony, he pushed me down and he said to me, "You don't have anything. You don't have money. You don't have this. You don't like focusing on what I don't have." And I was like being so scared, actually ask for support, asking like, "Oh, I need the money for like buying the fruits, buying this, and buying like for the ceremony." I was not able in that moment of my life asking for support. It took me extra days, let's say like this, to actually go and communicate that. um, so for me, police didn't come over. It was one of the things. I was waiting for police for 2 hours. They didn't come over, and many things, that day happened. It was just so like crazy. At the same time, I'm so grateful because it's truthfully showed me who I am. How resilient I am, and how powerful I am, and how like magical life is actually, and vulnerability, by accessing vulnerability, how much you actually can see the beauty in life, um, by not just being in the control and always kind of being in your own control, like the way you want to have your life. I learned through that experience, I learned to go with the flow. I learned how to ask for support. I learned how to be more feminine. I learned how to be way more like gentle with myself. And it took me a while, of course. It didn't happen over the night. It took me some months to actually go through the process. And I believe I'm still going through that process. It happened like 2 years ago. And I'm feeling like, for me, like, um, it was something very painful process, very, very painful to understand how fragile I am, how fragile life is, and understanding many things that as a woman we are so fragile. Yes, we're very strong and powerful and independent. In the same time, we're so fragile. We're so like, we need support, we need protection, we need someone there actually genuinely care about us, and generally from the heart, not like have these expectations and have this like ideas of you. Really look at you as a woman who, as a fragile, who's, yes, maybe she expressing herself sometimes harshly, and at the same time understand where she come from. In my world, we get to be harsh. We have very, very harsh winters. We get to like work all year round to survive, and it's like it's completely different environment that you get to live. And when in Westworld, everything kind of about pink elephants. It's so easy and simple, and people are getting too um like unhappy when you're just saying to them, "Oh my gosh, you're ugly," for example. "Today you don't looking good." They're getting so too direct in the heart, and it's just getting there like, "You destroyed my life," they say to me. Like, I said, like, why? I said, just one word that I see sometimes ugliness in myself. And I don't judge myself because of that. I said, okay, everyone has the good, the bad, the ugly. I have it too. Like, when I see it's in others, I communicate it. I just want to have a conversation how we can, make it more nicer, because everything in life is a beauty. Even ugly can be beautiful. You know, justice is just different interpretation. The thing is, it's about just these ideas, this I call the good, the bad. It's like all programs. Life has just experience, and it's up to us to look at this experience as a good experience or bad experience. I decided to look at life just as experience. I don't have good and bad. I just have experience in life that I get to deal with, the consequences as well that's coming with this experience, the way I get to recover from the experience, especially when this tough experience. Yes, it took me a while to recover my documents. It took me a while to recover my identity. It took me a while to like getting my again bank accounts, and all of it. It took me like I'm still recovering from that experience. It's been like over 2 years. But the thing is like, I'm fine. I decided it's better for me to be in Europe. America is too tough for me, and it's like I cannot like be there me, and being in my feminine energy, and like people getting questioning so much, and they getting very like brutal, and envy and jealousy. It's such a level that's both of women and men are just so jealous, and so like that level of enviness that I never ever experienced anywhere. Like, why you happy? Why you like so joyful? And I want to destroy you. I don't want to like. They don't want to. Some people want to learn, from you. Some people, the opposite, they don't like it. It makes them so like miserable in looking at themselves, because when they understand where you come from and your background and all the things, it's like how this person can be so happy, experience all these things, and still be so like joyful and happy, and like really appreciate everything in their life. And I'm here miserable, taking drugs, and like just feeling sorry about myself. My parents was not nice to me. My like my life is miserable. Even so, the trust fund, and they have a millions, and it's not enough.
No, it's even a mountain of gold will not be enough. That's what they say. And well, you touched on a lot of stuff here, and yeah, I would just say I'm glad I'm not in America right now either. There's good pros and cons to every place, but there you really described it, part of it fairly well with people, and it's sad that people won't be open to, just saying that as that takes a lot of guts to say that and to be honest like that. It's just a program, though. All those things you say are programs, and a lot of people don't realize that. It's not like you're being hateful or you have a bad heart or anything. It's just they can't fathom, they can't understand anything outside of a certain box or a program, and I couldn't agree more. we can't control what happens to us, but we can have a say in how we view things and how we respond to them. And you seem to be so dialed into that power we have, and also what we pay attention to and how we pay attention to it. That's what we can do. And you mentioned so many cool things about the feminine here. These fragility, but also this really strong resilience that you also exemplify, you know? So it's kind of a paradox, but it's being okay with these paradoxes in this vulnerability. And, you know, that's how we get close to things. And I forgot how you put it, but with that vulnerability, yeah, it's really how we connect really deeply on deep levels with that. And at the same time, you know, being a fragile, you need protection, and that's what the masculine, you know, will provide. Is when you know a guy is not an a-hole, you know, and
Exactly.
cares from the heart and will offer to hold space and protect, you know, and we fall short too, you know, but that's so that we can complement the masculine and feminine complement each other when it's really ideal, you know, and then it's just a work in progress from there. And so, yeah, I think it's been really beautiful hearing your story, all the it, just yeah, just kind of the courage and courageousness you have too, and all the different experiences you bring to the table, and you haven't let it just life run all over you either. You've made the most of it and actually, you know, transformed it into strengths and beauty, you know, and it's really heartwarming for me to hear um, this like full spectrum human that you are, Aisha. So I think we ought to start wrapping this up. Would you like to tell people, well, finish up on what I said there too, and then after that,
Oh,
go into how people can get in touch with you and plug anything you want and things you have in the pipeline too, and then also take people out on a message after we,
I just want
yeah,
to add
yeah,
something. You know, like what
here's
kind of
this. Sure.
about life is like I understood. I have my like I had I get to deal with my abandonment issues, you know, because my mother abandoned me and like and all these things that I get to go through in my life, and I get to deal with that. I understand,
Core
you know, in
wounds.
my consciousness,
Yeah.
I understand that. I get to deal with that. Yes, maybe sometimes I don't feel the connection with people because of that issue that I have through my life. And at the same time, I understand the social norms we have, the social, like, you know, this connection that we get to have, and understand who I want to connect with and why. Be more wiser with our connection, with our friendships, because we choose our friends. We don't choose our family, and we choose our friends. So be more wiser what friends you're choosing, you know. And I choose to have friends who's like lifting me up. It's enough of friends who's dragging me down and draining me. I don't want those friends anymore. I said to myself, it's enough. I cannot have these people around me. So I kind of completely rid of the old friends of my life, and I say like the new friends will coming because I'm an amazing human being and I just want to live because all the time I'm one of the friends who's always lifting up no matter what, you know, like all my life I've been that friend who's making the other friends life better. Every time when I'm looking, when I've been in the picture in the life that become more better, more colorful, more joyful. And it's my natural talent, it's my natural being. And I'm feeling like, why other people cannot be like this? Like, why I get to bring this all this like all this sunny side and like being this positive one, and every time I want to have that too in my life. Yes, I this is from I am for myself that too, you know. And the same time, sometimes I want to have this warm feeling of the somebody care of me from the heart. I care of myself like from the heart. At the same time, I didn't care so much like, oh, if that person care about me or not. And now I'm learning that people really care, but they carry from the scarcity mindset, and they like too scary of um, operate on the abundance mindset. So I'm like, I kind of like would like to invite more people into my life who operate from the abundance mindset, because this is how I operate. And more like more I'm inviting into my life these people, I'm more people like the people I'm freeing right now from my life, and I'm inviting these positive and loving and caring people, and I'm just feeling like because I deserve it. I deserve it. It's like it's my choice to really like create these people in my life because they lift me up. They bring me to the next level where I belong to, where I can continue to shine my star, share my message. And that's why I feel like it's very important to be aware with who you want to be surrounded by and why. Be more wiser with your choices because we have
Yeah.
one life. And I always say to the people, I have just one life. I want to experience so many amazing things in my life. And I believe it's enough in this lifetime to experiencing all of them. I'm sailing right now. I do like I want to sail around the world. It's one of my dreams. So I started to like do like sailing classes and sailing lessons, and I've started to sail just like a hobby right now. And I'm just feeling like yes, I get to put some hours now. It doesn't matter if it's happening like in 1 year, 10 years. I just want to like kind of enjoy this joyful idea that I have. And yes, I'm seasick. Yes, I have some issues with the ocean, but I am scared a little bit. And at the same time, I'm relaxed. I'm in peace. Because if it's meant to be, it's up to me. I want to make it happen. Yes, I get to work on that. I get to work on some of my issues that I have. And I believe that I can do it. That's enough. When you believe that we can do it, we can do it. It's no other way. Like universes always will provide with necessary tools, with absolutely everything that it's necessary to achieve what you want. So, in my book, for example, I'm sharing different joyful suggestions how you can improve your life with the different things. It's like meditation, breathing. It's like what it is happiness, what it is to be joyful, what it is to actually have a joyful container, creating with other people this joyful container, and many different like chapters. And of course, people can also enjoy my art in the book. So, a book called Joyful Living Guidebook. You can find it in Amazon, on a platform, all Amazon platforms, and just Google it, Joyful Living Guidebook. And also, I have my mentorship program that's called Joyful Living or Dream Life, because I believe we're all here to live our dreams and we are winners. So people can also book the time with me to understand which program they want to have. It's 3 months program, 6 months program, and 12 months program of Joyful Living, where we're going to explore our soul journey, our body, and our spirit. It's very mindful and beautiful, actually. People experience that. They really, that mentorship program bring it to the next level. And of course, I do.
Well, well, where can people find where can people find you? Just Google your name,
Now,
and do you want to say your website?
yeah, Aisha Makara. You can just Google me, and my website is Aisha.today. Is AISHA.today. You can find my mentorship program. You can find information about that I sing my art to the space, and you also can book my time with me over there.
Well, beautiful, wonderful, and very joyful. Aisha, thanks so much for taking the time to join me today. It's been a pleasure and honor and a joy, of course, to speaking to you. I love your openness and straightforwardness and your kind of alchemy, I would say too.
Authenticity.
Yeah, absolutely. So with that, may all beings everywhere come to realize and know their highest joy for their benefit and for the benefit of all beings everywhere. May all beings everywhere realize awakening and be free. Bye,
Even
y'all.
namaste. Thank you.